Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of Starjump Shipyard. This is a show where we take a detailed look at a particular Star Citizen ship, discuss what is known, speculate on the future, and try to give you an unbiased assessment of where that ship fits within the verse, and possibly your hangar. On this episode, we discuss the Anvil Crucible, the flying toolbox that is Anvil's first dedicated repair ship. However, this is a ship that was concepted in the early days of the project, so we're going to look at where it's at currently and how it may be reconcepted as the game evolves moving forward. Please watch until the end of the episode for a special giveaway courtesy of Predator Mounts. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Anvil Aerospace, manufacturer of the Crucible. Anvil Aerospace is based on Terra and provides ships for both the military and citizens of the UEE. They are primarily known for making some of the best fighters in the Star Citizen universe. Now, as more and more private citizens take up militia duties, Anvil Aerospace is making sure that they cover all contingencies by providing ships that enable the high-level repair capabilities needed to keep citizens safe and prosperous in the verse. The initial design brief highlighted CIG's efforts to get a cool-looking ship that captured both the utilitarian feel as well as the fast and sleek impression that the ship was meant to give off. It's important to remember that these early, very rough design ideas are simply a way to explore a ship's rough silhouette without wasting too much time on any small details. Let's look at a few different images that really show off the wildly different shape languages that were initially explored. It was decided early on that the ship would have a workshop-type module that could be accessible to ships in need of repair, as well as planet-side compatibility to effect repairs on ground vehicles. In addition, a large cockpit with an array of windows that provided good visibility to the repair work happening was also an early idea favorite. It's at these early stages that the flow of the ship starts to be heavily considered. For example, this could consist of where elevators or ladders would be located, or where certain rooms will sit within the limited space inside the ship. Additionally, serious thought is being applied to the ship's repair arms, how they will function, what is their reach and usability, and how they will fold up and secure themselves within the ship's boundaries. Here are some additional interior renderings that begin to show off the seat, component, and workstation placement. At some point through development, the workshop was changed so that the doors opened up in such a way that they allow the repair arms maximum range of unrestricted movement, as well as the engines to tilt, pivot, and slide. You can see that change reflected in the more boxy design of the workshop. Another aspect of this change was it reinforced that utilitarian look of the ship and provided a nice contrast to the circular bridge and habitation sections of the ship. Because this is the last known information directly speaking to the workshop scarab's shape, and knowing that two shapes have been shown in the holo models in the past, the wedge and box shape, we will primarily be showing the box-shaped scarab workshop moving forward in this video. Just understand that it's very likely the shape language of this module will change during reconcepting. These changes also created a large front fuselage area to house the new drone launch area. With concept artwork created especially for the ship sail, you can really begin to see the different functions of the Crucible come to life through the actions being depicted. We have both small fighter and capital ship repair, we see the amazing panoramic bridge view, and we even see the Crucible flying in both directions with its rotatable primary engines. Now that all the concept art is nearing completion, the vision for the Crucible was reaching a state where a concept sail could move forward. Now let's look at what eventually went on sale to the backers. The Crucible is a fully equipped, dedicated repair ship, capable of repairing the full range of ships in the verse, from the smallest light fighters all the way up to the capital-sized monsters that will eventually populate the game. It comes with an enclosed repair hangar, transversing and rotating main engines, allowing it to fly in both forward and backward configurations, at least according to the ship's concept art. However, please note, this aspect of the ship could easily change. The Crucible is also equipped with a rotating bridge section that allows it to overlook repairs occurring within the Scarab hangar. Its repair scarab, or hangar, can be detached in space and on planetary surfaces, allowing the ship to more easily focus on the repairing of capital ships with the two medium-sized repair arms located in its left and right nacelles. With the hangar detached, the ship positioning will become easier to negotiate in order to effect those repairs. Alright, let's take a more detailed look at the repair scarab. The repair scarab currently supports 4 small medium repair arms. Overhead hangar doors that can be opened even during repair operations on ships that exceed the hangar's height limits. The repair scarab can also be retrieved at any time, allowing the operator of the Crucible to interface with several hangars at once by docking and undocking, essentially giving the Crucible a sort of repair/tow ship sort of role, or even the role of a small carrier ship if one desired. The repair scarab can even be brought planet-side. With its drop-down ramp, the scarab allows for the repairing and servicing of ground vehicles, something truly unique to the Crucible platform. The ship is also capable of deploying repair drones to service ships of any type. As stated during the sale of the ship, it comes equipped with a drone operations center. The Crucible went on sale for a pledge price of $350. Knowing that the Crucible will possibly grow in size and complexity as it makes its way through the production pipeline, the ship is very likely to go up from its original price. Okay, let's get the Crucible's current dimensions out of the way. The ship comes in with an overall beam of 50 meters, a height of 20 meters, and a length of 90 meters. While this squarely sits the Crucible in the large category of ships, the current size is most likely not accurate, and we will address why a little later in this video. Internally, the Crucible is slated to carry roughly 230 SCU of cargo, and is currently equipped with 1 medium and 2 small computers, 1 large power plant, 2 large shield generators, 1 large radar, and 2 large coolers. Once again, keep in mind that all those stats just listed will definitely change once the ship goes into active development. The Crucible is slated to support a crew of 3 to 8, but with repair gameplay still being developed, this crew count will most likely grow to accommodate all the roles this ship will require to operate at peak efficiency. From an armament standpoint, the Crucible is never going to be a frontline fighter. The Crucible is a heavy repair ship and is thus very lightly armed, currently supporting 1 dual-mount size 4 weapon that is still yet to be determined. In order to get such a large and complicated ship to move, the Crucible is equipped with 4 main thrusters, 2 retro thrusters, and 26 maneuvering thrusters. The Crucible is a ship with a very specific role in the verse, that of a dedicated repair ship. And to really understand that role, we need to talk a little bit about the repair gameplay loop and how it's currently envisioned by CIG. The repair gameplay loop is a resource-based gameplay loop. The idea is that ships are damaged, you'll be able to then use resources in the form of materials, ingredients, components, and subcomponents, and combine those in particular ways to effect repairs on the ship. This requires the implementation of several new types of operator modes, the first being the repair arm operator. Essentially, this is one who controls the repair arm itself, much like you would control the salvage and mining arms on the Vulture and Prospector respectively. However, this can also be thought of in the same way as a drone operator, with the drone essentially being a maneuverable platform for the repair arms. We know drones will play a role in repair gameplay, and we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. But drones, in a sense, are repair arms that are able to be piloted and maneuvered essentially. The next role is the Repair Task Manager. They will work at a terminal and relay detailed damage information to the repair arm operator and designate repair tasks to be undertaken. And they are responsible for the management and allocation of repair material resources to each repair arm operator in order for the repairs to be undertaken. Consider the number of repair arms the Crucible has, and that can inform you a bit on the crew requirements for this ship. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Once the Repair Task Manager scans the damaged ship, they can start to use their materials panel to allocate and assign various materials that are needed to effect those repairs. These materials are gathered through trades such as mining, trading, and scavenging. You will then combine and assemble those into the compounds that are needed to effect repairs. In a sense, this is a type of crafting. You're taking certain materials, combining them into new materials in order to then repair certain parts and pieces of the damaged ship. Now that we have given a brief overview of how repair gameplay is supposed to work in Star Citizen, it's important to remember that the Crucible is not the only dedicated repair ship planned for Star Citizen. We also have the Aegis Vulcan. The Vulcan takes a slightly different approach to repair gameplay and relies primarily on its assortment of 4 drones to effect repairs on damaged ships. While the Crucible is slated to have drone capabilities, there are still some questions that remain regarding how big a role they will play in the ship's primary repair role. These drones can be looked at as simply an EVA-type platform for a series of repair arms. In that respect, they aren't really different from the repair arms that are situated in the Crucible's nacelles and workshop Scarab. The only real difference is perhaps the amount of repair material that those drones will be able to carry. However, these repair arms are really just one aspect of a large group of options the Crucible captain has at their disposal. The Crucible relies on its flexibility to effect repairs in several different ways. With its ability to dock and undock from its workshop Scarab, the Crucible is not restricted to a particular size range of ships that it can repair. Now, with its hangar in place, it can repair any ship in the Hornet size range. However, disconnecting that hangar allows the 2 medium-sized repair arms to open up and repair ships that are much larger. This includes capital ships if you go by the concept art that CIG has released. Here's an example of some of that concept art showing the Crucible repairing an Idris, the capital-sized frigate made by Aegis Dynamics. This flexibility also means that the Crucible quite possibly won't need to grow all that much. The Crucible can also land and detach its workshop Scarab on the surface of any planet or moon. This could really be a must-have for any ground-based racing fleet. With the Scarab's drive-on, drive-off ramp in the front, as well as its rooftop doors ability to open up, it means that ground vehicles would not be limited by their vertical height when accessing the workshop. I could see a situation in the future where a Crucible owner may own several different workshop modules that are in different locations, while the Crucible itself moves between all of them depending on the repair needs of the fleet or operation currently going on. This type of functionality could easily be used for race teams, with the repair Scarabs set up planet-side, much like current-day race teams have their transport trucks and mobile garages right there on site for the race. It should now be easy to see why so many players and orgs look to the Crucible as their fleet's primary repair ship. Even though we probably will have additional repair ships announced by CIG in the future, those ships could be more focused on a single line of approach to the repair gameplay loop, or perhaps use entirely new repair gameplay mechanics that are unknown to us at this time. However, that shouldn't take away from everything that the Crucible offers. It's an ambitious ship in both its role in the verse and how players will be able to utilize its many functions. There are only 2 real issues at this early stage that any prospective Crucible owner should be aware of. The first of these being the current Anvil design language, and how it has evolved from the time of the Crucible's original concept phase. It's interesting to consider which characteristics could carry over into a possible rethink of the Crucible's overall look. When we take a more recent Anvil design like the Liberator and even the Valkyrie and apply some of those characteristics to the Crucible, we can see how the ship could evolve once it goes into reconcepting. This bit of creative redesign was a fun exercise, and I like how the ship feels a bit beefier and has some shape language callbacks to other ships in Anvil's lineup. Another potential issue is the ship's current size of 90 meters. The Crucible was always sold as being able to repair an Anvil Hornet within its Scarab hangar. We need to take another look at the Scarab alongside modern ship hangar metrics. This consideration can help inform us as to where the ship will end up from a size standpoint. There are 2 hangar metrics we need to take note of. First is the size 2 or small hangar pad at 24 meters by 32 meters. The next is the size 3 or medium hangar pad, which has a metric of 48 meters by 48 meters. Now, taking the dimensions of the size 2 pad at 24 by 32 meters, you will see that it fits quite well into the Crucible's current Scarab dimensions, if we stick to the Crucible's 90 meter length. This would be capable of servicing the Hornet as it sits in the game today. However, if CIG wants the Crucible to handle anything larger than a medium fighter, then the Scarab hangar will most likely have to grow to accommodate that change. Scaling up the Scarab to a size 3 pad at 48 meters by 48 meters would put the Crucible at a rough length of 150 meters. Time will tell which direction CIG decides to take with the Crucible once the ship enters a reconcepting phase at some point in the future. In conclusion, the Anvil Crucible really stands alone in its capabilities as a repair ship. You could consider it the current endgame of repair ships. With its highly flexible main thrusters, its ability to rotate its bridge and fly forward or backwards depending on the situation, its detachable and closed repair hangar bay, its both internal and external repair arms that allow it to repair ships of any size, and finally its support of drones and the flexibility that provides to support a growing fleet of ships. We don't yet know when the Crucible will go into active development, and there are concerns regarding any complicated ship and when CIG may have plans to move forward on such a complex project. However, Anvil is getting more and more ships under its banner, and as CIG has stated many times, the more ships a manufacturer has, the more mature its asset library becomes. This ultimately makes the ships a bit faster to create in the future. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode of Starjump Shipyard. I hope you all enjoyed this look into everything we know about the Anvil Crucible. Feel free to leave comments on the next ship you would like to see, and remember, please like and subscribe to this video and click that alert bell for this channel as it really helps the YouTube algorithm. This has been Grim, and I'll see you in the verse.